Hey everybody, it's another week and another review from your professional lovers in training. Patty and
Al.
And what are we talking about tonight? I think mainly the families.
Yeah.
Because that's really what the show is about tonight. The different couples meeting with their in-laws. And getting a feel for their in-laws and their in-laws getting a feel for them. You know, you always hear, I mean, it's the stereotypical idea about, you know, your in-laws being like yucky.
What, overprotective or just a pain?
Overbearing.
Yeah.
Always in your business, kind of a thing. But, you know, how into your business should your in-laws be? You know, but we're not going that far at the moment because this is just, you know, their children have married strangers. So right now they have a right to ask whatever they want to ask.
And actually the family is the best resource to get information. Regardless of what their responses are, in most cases they'll be genuine, even as abstract as they may be.
Right.
Because they have no reason to sugarcoat or lie or fabricate anything, because this is literally a stranger. So why would you, you know, create something
and everybody seemed to do
they seem genuine
pretty well, except for Henry, who didn't have much to say.
Henry hasn't lived yet.
Well,
but I think he's about to.
Yeah. So I was, a couple things really struck me about Woody and Olivia's husband. Brett, is that his name?
Yeah.
Brett. Right? Okay. That they were really honest with their answers that to the questions that Olivia's dad asked about Christianity,
right.
And then to what Amani's mom asked about why his relationship, his 4-year relationship didn't work. Because as Olivia's dad said, you know, it's important that a person's honest.
True.
And with a question like, you know, how do you feel about Christianity? You know, he could have fudged that really, you know, well.
Or not think about it at all. I mean, you know.
You know, but to come out and just say, yeah, no, that's not me. I mean.
But he respects it.
He's
familiar with it.
Yeah.
You know, but he plainly indicated that he was agnostic, which I can relate to prior to becoming a Christian. I mean, I had experienced religions, you know, which are all man-made. But, you know, it's all contingent on your personal walk with God, your creator, or whatever it is you choose to call God.
Well, and her dad really respected him for not sugarcoating his feelings about that.
And that's all part of relationship. I mean, you have to have a foundation of trust. Okay, if I trust you at your word, if you're honest with what you say, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, I can still trust you and I can respect you for feeling the way you feel. And I think being honest from Jump Street makes everybody less defensive. You know, you kind of drop your armor and you give the relationship an opportunity to become whatever it's going to become. So.
And then likewise with Woody, I mean, to reveal that, you know, they both cheated. He didn't have to do that.
He didn't.
And I was like, ooh, that doesn't make a family feel secure about the fact that you just married my daughter and we don't know you.
And you have a history. Not just a history, but a history of cheating, and you just said it. You confessed.
That kind of shocked me that he went all the way there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he didn't have to divulge that, and he still would have answered the question.
But come to find out, Woody has, had some experiences in his life, because again, on the other side, Amani and Woody's family, they talked about his emotional outbursts and how he controls his temper and things like that. And
or doesn't control his temper.
Or didn't control his temper. Because we found out that Woody went to counseling, and now he understands how.
And that was very cool too.
Exactly, that he was willing to divulge that.
How many men and young black men,
young black men, are willing to go to counseling
and find it useful?
Yeah, and admit it and understand the value in it.
So he's making me feel a lot better about him.
I liked Woody. I mean,
not that I didn't like him.
Yeah, no.
But I just he's got that player vibe.
Well, I think...
And I wasn't sure that he was really ready to be married.
And that's what I'm believing in Woody, that he was just ready to make a change. He's been there. He's been out there. He's done all the things. But now, a committed relationship. And his attempt in trying to do things his way was in a 4-year relationship that was tumultuous, or whatever the case may be. They just didn't communicate well. So, I mean, to spend 4 years in that type of relationship... That's kind of difficult, but you learn a lot about yourself. And to allow experts, for the most part, to find someone that you are compatible with, you have certain similarities, and, I believe that they got this one right.
Well, that's why, when we talk about pre-testing, a lot of couples do premarital counseling, and we're talking about couples who are not strangers. But I don't know how many people actually get tested. And
I did.
That is one of the tips that we have in our book, Becoming a Professional Lover, the value and the benefit of getting tested in order to determine your compatibility level before you get married, rather than to find out through hardship and trial and error after you're married that you are or are not really compatible. So that is one thing that the experts do that is extremely beneficial. But of course, we know that being compatible on paper doesn't necessarily mean automatic compatibility as you start to engage. But it's a great place to begin. So that you have a good idea about where your common strengths are, where your weaknesses are that could create possible pitfalls or bumps, to begin talking about how you would handle those things before you get married. So, and
it's not a perfect science, but it gives you more insight, than you would have normally, in just trying to do guesswork and spend time and eventually find out.
Or find out for good or find out for bad.
But find out.
So, yeah, I was like, wow, he's gone to counseling. He felt it was beneficial. It gave him some tools for, handling his anger and realizing where it was coming from. So all of that was like, ding, 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 great pluses.
But I'm sure I can't imagine how comfortable that made Imani feel on knowing that, okay, what she heard and then hearing it from Woody, not trying to sugarcoat it, said, yeah, well, I was there. I was that person. But I did this, and this, and I found out how I can control this, and this. And anytime that I feel that, I need to step away from it, how to deal with it. I mean, he kind of laid it out real quick, exactly what it is that he has in place to ensure that he doesn't get to that point with his new wife.
So that was cool. Miles and Karen's mamas are fierce.
Yes, they love their children.
Karen's mom was like not cracking a smile. She was like, I ain't here to play. I need to know.
And see, to me...
you can tell by my face that I ain't playing.
And she said exactly that. You can tell by my face that...
Whereas Miles' mom wasn't as severe looking, But she let she was a little bit more, she was a little bit more
relaxed.
Relaxed.
Yeah, but she let it be known.
Oh, she let her know.
Yeah.
Though we tight. He's a
and
mama's boy.
If y'all get to any point where you feel that you can't handle it, you just
send him
let
back.
him back home.
Send him back.
I'll take care of the rest. Don't worry about it. I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay, that is kind of saying you're a mama's boy, but
I'll pick up the pieces.
I kind of thought of, as hearing that, I was like, that's a little extreme, but I understood it.
Well,
and to me,
but you know what? I don't get the feeling that they are extreme in that mama's boy relationship,
it was
because
just said,
the extreme means that he's just always
under
her.
He gonna get her
always
advice
talking to her.
He's gonna talk to her first before he talks to his wife.
In a way that makes a wife feel like you're competing with mama,
and that's your second fiddle.
You don't ever want to feel like you're competing with mama.
No, that ain't a good.
That is not a good feeling. So, but I think
y'all out there, don't let it get there.
Yeah, buddy. You got to make sure that it's not to that degree.
You leave and cleave.
But I kind of feel like Miles' dad kind of helps keep that in check too.
Yeah, well, Miles' dad, even though at times he seems to talk a lot, but I know he's definitely an observer.
Mm-hmm.
And, one analogy that they had about, the man being the head of the household.
Yeah, that's submission.
Both of them had the idea of being the neck that holds the head up.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never really thought about that, but your neck got to be strong and it's got to be on right. I mean, it's
well, because the head can't function without the neck.
I understand that, but I'm just saying the neck is what holds up the head.
Mm-hmm.
And allow maybe an abstract word, but it allows it to maneuver in the fashion that it does. Because if it didn't, you'd have a headache.
Just a headache?
Not to be a pun, but yeah.
Because I'm
everything
thinking
would hurt.
Without it, you're like I said,
but I'm saying when the compatibility is not there,
yeah.
and the manner in working together and the partnership. But in dealing with family, to me, it was all about expressing the value of the individual that they placed on their family member.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that.
Yes,
I truly
do,
understand that.
Because you went through that.
Yeah. You talk about tests. I got tested. I got tested before meeting the family. So and I took it as that. No,
really, tested.
Literally.
My dad sent us tests.
Literally.
When we were planning to come visit. And we were coming to visit as friends. We weren't in a relationship. We weren't, we had been hanging out for a little while. But it was nothing serious.
Yeah.
But just the fact that I was bringing somebody home.
Which is something
which I had never done. Was like a red neon flashing light to my dad, who is a psychologist and was a marriage and family life counselor, educator, speaker. So, and he was a proponent of testing.
True.
And this is back in the
70s,
90s that we did it. But, he had started that back in the 80s before it became a popular thing to do, like love languages and all that. Mm-hmm. So anyway, he got tested by a real test, then the sibling test, and then the mama test. So you were tested through and through.
It's because they didn't know how my life was, but that's okay.
He passed.
we were grown by then anyway.
He passed them all.
Yeah, it was simple. It was fun.
With flying colors.
But it just let me know the value that they placed on Patty. Their only daughter, their only sister. I understood that.
Yeah. So.
If I had a sister, I'd probably. If I had a sister like that I grew up with, and I'd probably do the same thing. I'd get to know who this individual was, his history, start going through Facebook and all kinds of stuff.
Which is what the brothers did to Olivia.
Exactly.
Internet stalked her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now you can find out whatever you want to find out
Pretty much.
through, all the social media.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was cute that
Mm-hmm.
they were like, yeah, we're going to admit we checked you out.
Yeah, and one is a
And
lawyer.
have common friends and asked about
And
you.
really went to her job or know people on her job.
Right.
From being a nurse, dealing with hospital, environments and things like that. They researched.
And then Henry, poor thing, meeting with his wife's mom and
aunts.
aunt,
Both
grandma.
Mom
and
grandma.
you talked about how the aunt picked up on, needing to tell Henry that communication
is critical.
was critical.
Because I believe, and it's just a manner in which maybe the camera was shooting it or whatever, but Aunt was very minimal in her words and let grandma and mom communicate, ask questions, see his response and whatnot. And she was just observant. And when she finally did speak, she basically conveyed to him, giving him a heads up, that his new wife, her niece, is a communicator. She needs to be communicated with. And communication is critical. Critical. That's how you get to know a person. Mm-hmm. And, that's not his forte. I mean, I almost think that he feels it's punishment if he got to talk too much.
Yeah.
But again, he's been in an environment in his own family where his father did enough talking for everybody in the family.
I picked up tonight that his dad, whether it's in jest or not, now Henry already, inferred with the experts that he's, he was always
an introvert.
Well, lacks self-esteem.
Yeah.
He lacks self-esteem, and when you listen to his father,
you can see
his father dogs him about pretty much everything.
Yeah. He's always had a backhanded comments.
How he dresses,
Mm-hmm.
how he's so different from him and other people. And it was so clear tonight. Now the wife, Amelia, Amelia said that she felt like the dad, because he couches everything in joking fashion and in joking tones, that she could feel that he loved him. I have to say, not that he doesn't love him, but I didn't feel that.
But that's not what.
That's not what I get from listening to the dad.
That's not what you receive.
Kind of rag on him all the time. Yeah. And I just, it struck me. I said, this is why part of his self-esteem problem.
Yeah.
I mean, if you remember back when a couple weeks ago, and the dad was talking about how he likes to dress nice and he's so neat and and you would think that that's a positive, right? But he turns it into a negative thing. And so for me, I kind of understand why Henry is so awkward and painfully introverted.
Yeah.
And can't keep eye contact. Yeah. Because his dad, you said that his dad comes across as being disappointed with him.
Yeah, and that in his verbiage, the words that he chooses to express what he feels about his son, it sounds like disappointment.
And because I was saying there's a line between, telling somebody things about your child that would be helpful for them getting to know your child. But when you step over that and everything you say is negative or, it's just not, doesn't sound supportive.
Yeah.
That's a little problematic.
Yeah. And it has a cause and effect, where, Henry could have a natural melancholy personality. The way the father talks about him would only make him go further into his turtle shell.
Yeah.
Where he's got his little tics and he doesn't do eye contact well. And I think that his wife is going to have to literally bathe him in
acceptance.
Yeah. Of who he is and what he's about. Because she says she cares about him. I mean, she likes him, and I think it's because of who she's had her history with.
Yeah.
Where
he's completely different.
Totally different.
From
totally different.
What she's used to.
And I think right now she's thinking Henry being the nice guy is just so totally different. Nice guys, don't really talk about a lot. They don't, they're not always the life of the party. They're not trying to take advantage of me. They're, those things that she may be familiar with regarding her history. Whereas now she's got a nice, mild-mannered guy.
And she's been told she's going to have to take the driver's seat.
Yeah.
I hope that she is okay with that.
And willing to do so.
And is patient with it. Like I said last week, she's going to need a lot of patience.
And not break Henry in half.
So, we'll see how that goes.
Yes.
So, it's time to get ready to stop. We were really chatty tonight.
Yeah,
we had
we
a
were.
lot to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I do want to say, though, before we go, is that I think this is the first season that I can remember, and I've been watching them from the beginning. This is the first season where no couple consummated the marriage.
Oh, true.
On honeymoon night.
That we know.
That's true because people have lied before.
Yeah.
But no, it seems pretty safe to say that no one did, and I think that's a first.
But in all actuality, I probably personally just feel more confident about all of the couples than I've had in any of the previous seasons. We've had desires and hope for couples to turn out, and again, this is brand new. The honeymoon tells a lot.
This is just day one.
Yeah. And I know there's going to be drama and whatnot. They're going to find it. They're going to create it somehow.
Week
it's
5 is coming.
So, but don't they go to 8 now?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, it's going to get to
down the line is coming.
But I still feel hopeful for everybody.
Yeah.
And I feel good, positively hopeful for everybody. You got one couple, you got some hurdles to get over, but everybody has good possibilities.
And they're starting off with good vibes and
good chemistry.
Good chemistry.
Yeah.
All the way across the board. So, that's it for this week. And as the honeymoon gets started, we'll see what happens.
All right. Look forward to it.
And we hope that you look forward to us. Thank you for those who are watching and leaving comments on our
please do more
channel page. Yes, share with your friends and anybody else who's a Married at First Sight groupie. Viewer, that's better.
Yeah.
Viewer, to check us out and keep watching. Until we see you next week, you know what I'm going to say. Stay safe. Stay masked up. Hands sanitized up.
Definitely.
Social distance. All of that. Let's get this virus flattening out all over the place so we can get back to
some type of normalcy.
Some type of life as we knew it. Until then, peace.
Enjoy.